Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today, our video is going to be all about leveling up in Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. We're going to talk about all the various different things that happen when you level up, all the mechanics that are at play in the system. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing that happens when you level up, typically, unless you're in a weird race that you're leveling up as the race, we're not going to talk about that, but that can get a little weird, and you're not always going to get a hit die in that case. But the first thing you're going to get, assuming that's not the case, you're going to gain a hit dice. So you just gained a class level. So you'll write, hey, now my class level has gone from whatever to whatever. Did you just add one more, make one of your classes go up a level? Okay, great. Maybe you added a new class. Maybe you picked up a prestige class. Whatever you want to do, you just add one level to one class, whether it be an existing class or uh, a new class. Either way, you're going to look at the data, assuming, and this is all assuming that you're level 20 or lower. If you're 21 or above, things are different. We'll talk about that in a different video. But anyways, you look there and you say, okay, so I have a whatever hit dice. So maybe you say you have a D8 hit dice. So you grab a D8, you roll it. This one came up a 3. So you add 3 plus your constitution to your health, to your max health. So now you're tankier and are harder to kill. Awesome. Of course, if you have things like improved toughness, you add another one. There's all sorts of feats that could come into play, but for the most part, it's the die roll plus con, and that's it. You just roll the die once. If you happen to roll a 1, sorry, that sucks. If you happen to roll max on your die, awesome. You gained a lot of health. Some DMs will be nice and let you do average rolls, but not every DM will do that. Some DMs will even let you roll and drop the lower half. That really depends on your DM. The rules is written. You roll whatever you get, add your con. That's how it is. Anyways. So that's step 1. But because your hit dice went up, because you just rolled a die, your hit dice just went up. And assuming you don't have any level adjustments, your hit dice is going to equal your character level. And you will then potentially gain a new feat or a new ability. So if your hit dice, when you leveled up, is now a multiple of 3, so if it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, if it's one of those numbers, you just got yourself a feat. Those also continue into epic as well, but we're going to stick to non-epic for this video. So yeah, you just gained yourself a feat. So you can pick any feat you like that you meet the prerequisites for, and add it to your character sheet and gain all the benefits that feat gives, whatever feat that might be. Could be a lot of different things. Some feats are pretty good. So now your character's better because of that, assuming that, you level was a multiple of 3. If it's not, then you don't get a feat this level. You have to wait till your next multiple of 3. Now, you also, if your class level is a multiple of 4, including multiples of 3, those that are both are quite nice, but if it's a multiple of 4, in fact, there's really only one that's both in non-epic, but still, if it's a multiple of 4, like 4, 8, 12, or 16 or 20, you get an ability point, meaning you can take one of your abilities, such as strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma, and you can take the score, not the modifier, but the score, and you can add 1 to it. Now, if that happens to make it go from an odd number to an even number, then the modifier will go up, and you'll gain benefits because of that. If the modifier, if you're not going from an even to an odd, an odd to an even, then you're not going to gain a lot of benefits, although you may qualify for feats. Honestly, you should probably do this one first, especially at 12th level, just because I think if that goes up, you might actually qualify for a feat. So definitely good to do. So that much you're going to get regardless of which class you took. you're going to get that hit die. That what you add goes up. Like what die you roll depends on your class, but you're going to roll a die. You're going to possibly get a feat. You're going to possibly get an ability score. These happen regardless of class. This goes by total level, not by your class levels. So, if you're a second level wizard, first level fighter, that's third level, meaning you get a feat. So yeah, and if you're going into a second level fighter, you actually get 2 feats because of the fighter bonus feat. But we'll talk about that in a second. But yes, okay, so that's what you get for that's what you get for leveling up, irregardless of class level. Now, what you get for your class level is going to depend. You're going to go to your chart. There's certain things that all classes get. You're going to look at the base attack bonus, and you're going to look at the level before the level that you were in the class. So say you're a level 3 fighter, you're going to look at the level 3, and now you're a level 4 fighter. You're going to look at the level 3 fighter, see what their base attack bonus is. Then you're going to look at the level 4 fighter, see if they're different. If they are, which they are, fighter gets one every level, you will add 1 to your base attack bonus. And then you'll do the same for all your saves. If it's different than what you got the previous level, you'll add that onto your existing saves. Now, if you're not multi-classing, if you only have one class, you can literally just look at what it says and replace what it says with that. But if you're multi-classing, you're going to have to look to see how much it increased, because things get a little confusing when you multi-class. But if you're not multi-classing, it's really easy. You can just read the chart and put the numbers that it says. So yeah, so if it went from like a 3 to a 4, then that means you gained 1, so you can add 1 to your base attack. You'll do the same for all your saves. If they happen to go up that level, then you add 1. If they don't, then you don't. Pretty simple, straightforward. Yeah, so that's another thing that you get. That one is very much based on class, but all classes are going to have that. The chart's right there in the book. You just follow it. Another thing that you're going to get regardless of class, although it is class dependent, very similar to hit dice and base attacks and saves, is skills. You're going to look at your class skill list, and you're going to see how many skills you get. Some will say 2 plus int, some will say 4 plus int, some will say 6 plus int, some will say 8 plus int. I think it might just be the rogue that says 8 plus int, or a few other similar classes. But you're going to look at that. For some reason, they're all even numbers too. But anyways, you're going to look at what that says, and you're going to say, okay, my intelligence modifier is whatever it happens to be, and then it says add this to it. That's how many skill points you're going to get that level. At first level, you get 4 times as many, but that's only first level. We're talking about leveling up here. So this video was talking about levels 2 through 20. And when you hit those, so you're going to look and see how many skill points you get, and then you're going to just go in and you're going to add skills. Now, there's cross-class and class skills. Any skill that your current class has, as well as any skill from any previous class you've been in, is considered a class skill for some purposes. But for other purposes, it's only the class skills of the class that you are leveling up in. And we're going to talk about that right now. Basically, for the purposes of cross-class skills versus class skills, there's 2 things you have to keep in mind. How many ranks you have to put in order to gain, or how many skill points you have to put in order to gain 1 rank, whether it's 1 or 2. And also the max number of ranks you are allowed to have in a skill. Now, when it comes to the max number of ranks that you are allowed to have in a skill, all skills from any class that you have ever been in, that you have even 1 level in, are class skills for that purpose. So if you are a level 1 wizard and you just took a 2nd level in fighter, all the wizard class skills, you can take, you can get your ranks in them up to 3 plus your class level. And it's not the cross class one of 3 plus level minus half. No, you can do 3+ class level for ranks. However, you are going to, for skills that, since you're taking a level in fighter, if they're not a fighter class skill, like for instance, if you want to put a rank in knowledge religion, which is not a fighter class skill, but it is a wizard class skill, you can get max ranks up and get that up to your 3rd level at this point. So you can get that up to, you can get 6 ranks in there, sure. But you are going to have to put 2 skill points in for every rank you add, because this is not a fighter class skill and you are training as a fighter. So your capacity to learn your capacity to learn, you still have all the class skills of every class, but for your ease of learning this skill at this particular time, only the class skills that are on your list matter. That one can be a little confusing, I know, but that's how that one works. All right, so we've got a lot of the easy stuff out of the way. We got our health. We got our, we got our health out of the way. We got our base attack bonus. We got our saves out of the way. We got our skills out of the way. We got we got our feats. We got our ability scores. We got a lot of what we do for leveling up. The next thing that you got to do is you look at class-specific things. Some very specific ones that a lot of classes get are spellcasting. I'm going to talk about that one specifically because that one is a very special thing. So if you gain levels up in spellcasting in a single class, you will progress as it says, and you'll just gain whatever it says. Now, if you have prestige classes that are adding to that, you will add the spellcasting from that list, but not any of the other things unless they're specifically mentioned. For instance, say you are a, 5th level wizard and, 3rd level blood magus. I believe 3rd level blood magus is gain casting. I think it's, if I recall, it's 5th and 10th that they don't. So at 3rd, you would have 3 levels of blood magus. So you'd have 8 levels that would advance your casting. So you would have the wizard casting progression up to 8, but only the casting progression for wizard. The rest of the wizard stuff is only going to be 5th, and then you're going to have 3 levels for what it says for blood magus. So that's how that one's going to work. Now, if you try doing something like wizard and sorcerer or wizard and cleric, which is, let's go wizard and cleric. That's a little bit more of a common one. What you're going to have there is you're just going to look at both lists, and you're going to have 2 very separate spell lists. So when you advance in wizard, you advance in wizard. When you advance in cleric, you advance in cleric. The 2 are not related in the slightest. They are completely separate and different. So for instance, if you had 1 level in cleric and 3 levels in wizard, you'd look at the cleric spell casting and you'd cast as if you were a 1st level cleric, because you are, and you would cast as if you were a 3rd level wizard because you are. The 2 would not interact in any way. Just because you have 2nd level wizard spells doesn't mean you can cast 2nd level cleric spells. You can only cast what a 1st level cleric can, and what a 3rd level wizard can. The 2 do not interact. There's really no way to make those 2 interact either. Even with prestige classes, at least that much isn't going to, at least that much won't ever interact. They might interact in other weird ways, but not in that particular way. In terms of like how many spells known and how many spells you can prepare and all that fun stuff, they will not interact. Now, for things other than spells, there's various other things that can be on your list, like for instance sneak attack. If you have that from multiple sources, they'll stack. Unlike other things, they may or may not stack. It really depends. You might have fighter bonus feats, in which case if you get a fighter bonus feat that level, you can pick a feat that is on the fighter bonus feat list. There's not just the ones that are listed in the player's handbook. Other books also will list feats as being fighter bonus feats. It's actually a very extensive list that many books have fighter bonus feats listed for, particularly the Complete Warrior. That one has a lot of them. Player's Handbook 2 has quite a few as well. I think Races of Stone even has a few. There's a lot throughout a lot. Those are just some that have like the most fighter bonus feats that I'm aware of. I think Races of the Wild probably, I believe, does as well. A lot of the race books too, and of course Complete Warrior, because that one's designed for fighters mostly. So you're going to gain that. You're just kind of going to look at what it says. This one's special. It's unique to every class. They all get different stuff, but you add whatever it says for the level that you got. And that's all there is to it. And once you finish that, you pretty much leveled up your character. There might be other things that are in there, like maybe you have a familiar animal companion and those advanced, in which case you'd have to follow those rules in order to level up those things as well. But yeah, that's basically all you're going to get for leveling up. And you are now the next level. You're ready to play. So yeah. Hope that helped. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know down in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. If you have anything you want to add as well, if you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel for more D&D 3.5 content. And ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a video. Anyways, as always, I'm Mitch, and I'll be seeing you